I love my clients because they are raw and they are sensitive and they are real and they ask questions that catalyze epiphanies in me and bring through information that I'm surprised by and that always feeds my life. And today's conversation was around being artistic and being a highly sensitive person, and how if you're drowning in your own emotions, there's likely two things happening. You're either not turning all of that energy into an art form, singing, dancing, writing, scream, whatever you want to do, or you aren't aware that you're the observer and that you're not these feelings. So if you've done enough self-work, you understand you're not these feelings. But that's not enough to just let the feelings flow. When you hold this amount, you guys, when you hold this amount of energy, when you're a highly sensitive person, just observing your feelings is not enough. And it's really, this is why I specialize with highly sensitive people, because the framework is different for us. What works for other people doesn't work the same way for us. Where someone could just emotionally digest who is not highly sensitive, that might work for them and they might find liberation from their emotions. But a highly sensitive person who is picking up on enormous amounts of information at any given time, babe, you're here to alchemize that and create beautiful things. That's why you're sensitive. And when you put your gift to use, it stops working against you. It stops bogging you down. You stop feeling like you're under the weight of your sensitivity. And you start creating and benefiting from it. And you get to see the beauty of what unfurls. And my beautiful client was really holding herself back from her art because she said every time she, did anything, it kind of came out ugly, like angry writing, or even when she was little and playing with her Barbie dolls, they were fighting. And she said, she really wants to be in her divine and create something beautiful and alchemized from all this. But she kept judging her process. She kept judging what was coming out. And this is what came through. When you're opening the portals to feeling and creation, and they've been shut down for a long time or not open wide enough for the magnitude of who you are, it's like turning on water that's been shut off for 20 years in a rusty pipe. When you open up that valve, you're gonna have this kind of goldy yellow water come out with little rust bits in it. And if you immediately turn off the valve and go, ew, 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 there's something wrong with that, you are never gonna access the clean water. If you let that water run and you open it up even more and really let it get some momentum, let that water come through in a big way, it's gonna push out all the gunk and it's eventually gonna run clear. And that's what the creative process is like for sensitive people. We get to express and not judge it. And I told her, I said, go make something hideous. Go make something ugly. She messaged me back later and she's like, I'm gonna go make something nasty. I'm like, yeah, that's the energy right there. Go fuck it up. And it's true with anything. I do bow staff spinning, and when I started daring myself to make 40 mistakes, I started having so much more fun. Because it's like, oh, there's number 7, there's number 8, I dropped it again. Awesome, I'm getting to my goal. You start being more daring, more expansive, more playful. So I encourage you, lean into your emotions, lean into what you want to create, and don't judge it, because a lot of the time in the beginning process, the rust is coming out of the pipe. And if you don't let that come out, you'll think that's all you are. But if you let that all come out, you're going to see the clarity. You're going to see that clear, pure, beautiful essence that has been in there all along. And the like cherry on top of this is to recognize that you weren't the rusty water and you're not the clear water either. You are the observer of all of it. But if you have a goal to get to the clear water, you have to observe the other without judging it, without going, oh, this rusty water is me, aka this emotion, this ugly creation, this ugly painting, it is me. I'm going to judge it and shut the valve off again. No, you're none of it. Even if you make a work of art that you are enamored with, you're not even that. You are the joyous conduit and creator. And it's the same when I work with my clients. They thank me and I'm like, you're welcome. However, I can't take credit. I am the conduit. I'm the willing conduit for this. I'm the one that this energy life is living through me. So I want you to be able to go out and play and express yourself and express your feelings and let it out. And one of my mentors told me something really powerful when it comes to release, because I think especially for women, rage is a big part of the rust that comes out for us at first when we're turning on that faucet, because we've been so suppressed. No one tells us how sacred our rage is and how essential it is for us to have our rage and anger, because it teaches us who we are and who we're not and what our boundaries are. Anyway, if anger is coming up for you and you want to let it out, I like punching things and kicking things, but like my bed, I love throwing fits on my bed. But do it with intention, right? Really, if you're gonna punch a pillow, line up that punch and do it in a way where you're not just losing energy throwing a fit like a little kid, but you're directing the energy. You're being powerful, intentional with the energy. And that's what art is too. It's like, okay, I'm angry, I'm gonna write. And if you want some exercises, you could pretend I am the anger. And here's my story. And here's what I look like as the anger. And here's the sadness. And here's the mourning. And here's the story of my childhood that is so tragic. And here are 3 ways I can turn it into a play, a song, a comedy, a drama. Play with it. And the beauty of it is when you start to play with it, you get yourself out of that healing trap energy and you become the artist. And when you can merge emotional intelligence and wisdom with the creative process, because we've seen the other examples, right? We've seen the people that are constantly on a healing journey and they're starting to take life seriously and they're trying to be divine and they're trying to be spiritual. And then we've seen people like Amy Winehouse, who was just in the creative form, right? And she ended up doing what she's doing. And I don't have any judgment really on it, but you can see those ways where if you just create or if you just heal, it's not enough. But if you bring them together, if you have emotional intelligence, if you have awareness about yourself, and you give yourself full liberty to create, and you have to let go of the idea that you're not an artist, because you are an artist. If you're sensitive, you're an artist. That's all there is to it. If you're sensitive, you're an artist. And a lot of times the inner child knows at least 1 or maybe 2 of the ways the artist wants to express itself through you. If you go back to, well, what did I kind of want to do? Well, what did I always want to do? Why don't you write some music? Why don't you write a story? Why don't you write some poems? Why don't you play with these different avenues? Why don't you turn your camera on and act out the scene from your childhood? Be your mother if your mother is your problem. Act as your mother and do a scene. Do something with this energy that feels like alchemy, that feels lighter. And that's the thing, art makes the pain feel lighter. Art makes everything make sense again, because you're in the passion and the aliveness of it, and you can see it from more of an objective place when you turn it into art. You're not underneath it anymore. You're not in the midst of your past anymore. You're bringing this thing here and you're playing with it. You're playing with it. You're making it malleable so it's yours. Make it your little bitch. You know what I mean? Like, this is yours to play with and do whatever you want with. My favorite is probably poetry. I have been through like really, really intense relationships, and you guys know from my twin flame videos, when I love hard. I love really hard, and when I can write a poem about my feelings, whether it's the depth of the love or the pain of the letting go, when I can get that out, it feels like I'm finally being heard for a millisecond. I have so many feelings all of the time, so many sensations. There's so much I feel. You know, this world can feel really fucking detached. And when you're a deep feeler, it can feel maddening to be around all these detached people. But when I can get something out, right, like a moment in time, and I can express it, it's like I finally expressed a millisecond of what I go through all day. I finally got it out. It feels like giving birth. It feels like it really, the closest thing I can relate it to is that it feels like an orgasm. There's just this feeling of completion and release, and like I want to just go eat or just, it's done. And when I write a poem, even if I never share it, and it like encompasses the depth of my feeling and I'm able to express it, oh my God. I feel like, yeah, my work's done for the day. I can do nothing now, because that was such a feeling of completion. And I know writing is my, like, one of my great loves and what I'm here to do. It's one of, you know, those feelings when you're like, I'm here to do this. This feels so fucking fire. And maybe you know that. And if there's things in your life you feel that way about, go do that, because that's your art. And if you haven't tapped into that feeling yet, explore. Dare to explore what your inner child wants to. And dare to create. And remember, you are the observer. You're the observer. You're not the rusty water. You're not the clear water. You are the one allowing all of this. You are the conduit for physical 3D creation and observation. Let me know how it goes for you. Let me know if you've found your art form. Let me know what it feels like for you to be in creative flow. And maybe for some of you, you know, you can share how it's healed you, how healing it's been for you. So those who are, you know, a little scared of stepping into their artist self can see that it's possible. Okay, bye.